It is August the 24th, 2026, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. This is like take number 21. Hopefully this one sticks. It has been a beautiful day here in South Carolina, although it has been very, very hot here today. I had so much I was going to try to get done today, and it did not happen. I had a dentist appointment early this morning, and by the time that I got back home, it had already started getting super hot. I mean, it felt like you were walking into an oven. I was able to get some stuff done, but I just couldn't do it. I had to go inside after a while, and I'm going to try to get some more of that stuff done after I film today's video because the sun is going down now, so we will see what happens. I'm really looking forward to the fall and just the weather in the fall. I'm not looking forward to when, it gets dark at 6 o'clock opposed to 9 o'clock. I don't like losing those extra 3 hours of sunlight. You can get so much more done when it's like that, but it is what it is. You trade the nice weather for the lack of sunlight, and at this point, I'm willing to go ahead and swap them up because I really enjoy the fall weather. I mean, I really like it a lot. It's not too cold. It's just cool enough, especially those nice fall evenings, when the wind picks up and you can make a nice, campfire and sit beside it, and it feels nice. And I don't know, I'm just really looking forward to the weather changing and getting back to a little bit cooler of weather. But I hope it hasn't been too hot for all of you guys that are watching here today. I've got a pretty good topic for today's video, so let's go ahead and dive into it. What I want to talk about today has to do with problems. We have problems in life all the time. Sometimes, our problems are worse than others. We have good days, bad days, and just in between days, just mediocre days that, we really don't remember that much. But some days we have awful days, and, we have really serious problems arise. Maybe somebody in your family ends up getting sick and they have like a serious health problem. Or maybe you end up with a serious health problem. Maybe you just went to the doctor because you haven't been feeling all that great, or you had a cold or something, and then next thing you know, they find out that you have something else wrong. Maybe you just were driving to work this morning and your engine blew up in your car, or you just lost your job here recently and you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, or maybe you just split up from your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. I mean, that can be devastating. There are so many problems that we encounter in our day-to-day lives. And, when we encounter those problems, if you're anything like me, which I would imagine that a lot of you are, whenever we encounter those problems, one of the very first places that our mind takes us to is the bottle or a substance, whatever your, substance of choice is that you have a problem with. Mine's alcohol, yours might be something else, who knows? But, like I said, the very first place that our mind takes us to is, I just want to have a drink, the heck with it. We just want to throw in the towel, say forget about everything else, and just always resorts to the same thing. I want to just have a drink, especially if it's something really, really bad. And I've spoken about this. I just talked about it last week. When I get angry, that's when I really, really start thinking about relapse. Because it's so hard for me to calm down, and it takes me so long to calm down. And then on top of it, I get angry about the fact that I got angry. Why? I do not know. But I get really upset that something or someone was able to get underneath my skin and get me so upset. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why I get so upset about things sometimes, but that's just the way it is with me. And, you know, one of the things, too, is that when I get upset and I get angry about something, the next thing you know, things will escalate, because then I start to get angry about the fact that I'm angry. I will start to really get upset that something or someone was able to get underneath of my skin and get me that upset. I'm like, why did I let this happen? Why did I let this person get underneath my skin this bad to make me, you know, be this upset to where I'm thinking about drinking again? It's just absolutely insane. But, you know, back to what I was saying, you know, whatever the issue is that we have going on in our life, whatever the problem is that we have going on in our life, you know, one of the things that we instantly go right back to is, I want to have a drink, or I want to use, because, you know, for whatever reason, we believe this is going to help fix our problem. In reality, all it's going to do is remove us from that problem for a short amount of time. And during that period of time, yeah, you might feel good for a little bit. You might get that euphoria. You might feel floaty. You might forget about your problems. Or what would happen with me sometimes is that I would start drinking thinking this is going to help me feel better about whatever it is. And before you know it, I would start to get intoxicated. And then I started getting even angrier after I got intoxicated. So the drinking only escalated my anger and made me even angrier. And then I was an angry drunk. And I wouldn't even know what I was even talking about. I would be slurring my words, trying to get across to whoever I was talking to about my anger and why I was angry. And at that point, I was so intoxicated, I could barely even remember or even talk about what was going on with me. And then people would start laughing at me or saying, you're drunk, or I don't understand what you're saying, or why are you so upset about that? And before you know it, I would snap and either leave, hang up the phone, or tell somebody to go. You know, that's just the way it was. And once again, you know, we all have problems in our lives. All of us do. You know, some problems are worse than others. I mean, I get it. You know, if you lose a family member, that's a horrible thing to have to go through. But my point to this is that going back to drinking is not going to fix that problem. It's not going to make that problem any better. As a matter of fact, now you have another problem on your shoulders. Now you have relapsed. Now you've gone back. And now you've got that problem on top of whatever the problem that you were trying to escape from is now. So now you have double problems. And the thing about problems is that they don't last forever. They never do. So, you know, thinking that going back to drinking or using is going to help fix that temporary problem, well, all it's going to do is go from a temporary problem to either permanent or a very long-term problem now, because now you've relapsed. You've gone back to drinking or using again, and it's probably not going to stop with just day one. It never does. You know, we think I'm only going to drink for today. You know, my engine blew up today on the way to work. I'm so upset. It's going to be $5,000 to put a new engine in it. Or I got into a car accident on the way to work. Somebody smashed into the back of me. They didn't have car insurance. Now I've got to be able to cover the damage to my vehicle, and all I have was liability, and it's not going to pay for that. And how am I going to pay for all of this? And I'm so stressed out right now, and I'm already behind on my bills. So I'm just going to go ahead and drink tonight, because that's going to help be the solution to my problem, or it's going to help fix it or make me feel better about whatever it is. And like I said, now you have an even bigger problem on your plate. Now you've gone back. It never works out where you're just going to drink for one day. We drink that one day, you get that feeling again, you get that warm blanket feeling, and guess what? You want to feel that way all the time again. And before you know it, like today, you have whatever the problem is that happened today. Maybe you got fired from your job. Maybe you found out that your spouse is cheating on you or something like that. You go back to drinking today. And you say, it's only going to be for today. That's it. I'm not going to drink tomorrow. But guess what? Next thing you know, you're waking up tomorrow morning, you're hungover, you feel horrible. And if you were anything like me, what do you reach for in the morning when you feel bad and you're hungover? The hair of the dog. And you're telling yourself, I'm only going to do this for today. It's just for today. It's because I'm hungover this morning. I just got to have a couple of drinks just to break through this hangover. I'm going to go to work today, deal with everything, and all I'm going to do is just drink this morning. That's it. But guess what? If you're anything like me, well, if you've drank at all that day, well, that gives you permission to drink the rest of the day, right? Because you've already drank, so you might as well drink the rest of the day, because tomorrow, I'll start over again tomorrow. But for today, I've already drank this morning, so I'm just going to go ahead and drink tonight as well. Because, like I said, I drank this morning. I'll start over fresh in the morning. You go back, you drink again tonight. You get wasted drunk. You wake up in the morning, you're hungover again. Next thing you know, you've got hair of the dog again, or maybe you don't. Maybe you go to work and you tell yourself, I'm not going to drink today, and you make it through the whole entire day working with a hangover. Well, what's one of the very best things in the world to have after you've worked all day long, hungover at work, especially if you work in a hot environment during the summertime? You've been dehydrated all day long. You know, you've drank plenty of water, but man, that icy cold beer, it sure does taste good after a long, hot day at work, especially if you've been hungover. And you have one, then you have two. Before you know it, you've drank a 12-pack. Now you're drinking some liquor because the beer is just not doing it for you, and you've gotten too full from the beer. You're telling yourself, man, I already drank a 12-pack of beer. I'm really not feeling much. Now I feel all bloated. I think I'm just going to have a couple of shots. I don't want to drink any more beer. It's just making me feel too full. I'm tired of going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. I'm just going to drink a couple more shots tonight as a nightcap, and that'll be it. Tomorrow I'll start over fresh. I won't do this again. And all this started because of one problem. That's it. You thought that drinking or going back to using again was going to be the solution to the problem that you're dealing with. But it isn't, guys. And now you've created an even bigger monster. Now you've been drinking or using again for 2 days, and then that goes on for a week. And you keep telling yourself every single day, tomorrow I'll start over fresh. It's just going to be for today, just the rest of the day. I just need to be able to get over this hangover. I just need to be able to make it through work today. I just need to be able to take care of my kids today, and I can't do it because I feel so bad. So I just need to have a couple of glasses of wine or a couple of beers or a couple of shots or whatever it is. Before you know it, you're looking back and 30 days have passed. 90 days have passed. 6 months have passed. And now you can't even remember when you were sober, how long it's been. And now your alcohol or that substance really has its claws inside of you now. Now you are fully back addicted again, both physically and mentally. And now going and just trying to quit, now it's become something that's not something you can just drop it, and just forget about it. Now it is a medical issue. Now you've been drinking so long that if you try to quit cold turkey, you might actually have problems. Your blood pressure might spike. You might end up having a stroke. You might end up having a seizure. Who knows what might end up happening? Quitting alcohol or benzodiazepines abruptly can actually be life-threatening, guys. Please speak with a doctor if you are thinking about getting sober. Speak with the doctor first and do this the safe way. Just don't tell yourself, I'm just going to go quit tomorrow and everything's going to be fine. I did that so many times, and I risked my life so many times doing that. The whole point of this is to improve our lives, not lose our lives in the process because we decided to just quit cold turkey, because we're afraid to go speak with a doctor. We're afraid of what that doctor might tell us. Don't be afraid. I know it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to go do. I completely get it, guys. I wish I had spoken with a doctor years ago, but I was afraid and I didn't do so. And I waited far too long. I waited until one day I woke up and I was vomiting blood until I finally went to the hospital to see what was wrong. And at that point, it was too late. It was too late at that point. There was no get backs, no turning back. There was nothing I could do about it then. Like I said, guys, we all have problems. All of us do. And some days are better than others. Yeah, one day might be amazing and the next day might be absolutely horrible. But that's just the way that life is. Don't let whatever problem is happening in your life push you back into relapse. Don't let whatever problem or issue that you're dealing with in your life push you back into that old way of life again. You got away from that for a reason. Whatever the problem is, whatever the issue is that you're dealing with right now, it's going to go away. Brighter days are ahead. I can promise you that. Just wait it out. Don't go back to drinking or using again. That is not going to fix anything. Like I said, all it's going to do is add 1,000 more problems on top of the problem that you already have. Stay sober today. Whatever the issue is, there are all kinds of things that you can do to distract yourself. Maybe turn on a good movie, maybe go for a walk, put your headphones in, turn on a nice podcast, maybe turn on some really good music and just go for a walk. Maybe hop in your car and just go for a drive for a little bit. Don't stop by the liquor store. Don't stop by that gas station that you always stop at. As a matter of fact, go the opposite direction. Go the way that doesn't go by all those stores. Go out into the country or something like that. Just go for a drive. Clear your mind. Maybe go to the mall and walk around. Maybe go get some dinner from somewhere. Call up a really good friend of yours. If you're in AA, call your sponsor. Talk with them. If you have somebody that you're close with that understands your situation, call them. Call somebody that you trust, somebody that you know, especially if you know somebody that's been through this, somebody that has a problem with alcohol as well or a substance as well. Call them up. Talk with them. I'll guarantee you they'll help walk you off the diving board and bring you back. But like I said, going back to drinking or using is not going to be what's going to fix whatever the problem is that you're dealing with. Like I said, these problems are temporary. These situations in life that make us feel uncomfortable, they're temporary. Just like being happy is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Remember that. And how you feel right now, it's not going to last forever. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. Just hang in there and hold on. Don't go back and don't give in. Because like I said, if you do, now you've just created another problem. And that one isn't going to go away as easy as whatever the other problem is. If you have gotten sober, stay that way. Remember how hard it was to get sober? Remember what you had to go through? Remember that whole week of sweating it out and staying up all night long because you couldn't sleep and your legs are kicking all around in the bed because you've got RLS and you're throwing up and you've got a headache and you have no energy at all and you feel depressed and you don't want to talk to anybody and you completely isolate yourself and you can't eat anything, you don't want to drink anything, you just feel like a trash can all the time. You lay in the bed for a week straight. You have to take vacation just to be able to go through the withdrawal period because it's going to be so bad. Do you want to go through all of that all over again? Because I can guarantee you at some point you're going to want to get sober again because it's going to go off the tracks again. If you have a problem with a substance or alcohol, you're always going to have a problem with a substance or alcohol. Being sober for 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years is not going to separate you from having that problem. It's still there. It's still in the back of your mind. It's like a monster that's been asleep. And all you have to do is wake it back up again, and it will wake back up. Leave it alone. Stay sober today. That problem, that situation, that issue, whatever it is, guys, is temporary and it's not going to last forever. But going back to drinking or using will last for some time and it's not going to be comfortable either. Stay the way you are today. Don't go back. Stay sober. It truly is worth it, guys. We all have problems, but they're just temporary. And with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, let's stay sober one more day, one day at a time. That's how we have to take this. We live our lives one day at a time. Why wouldn't we take our sobriety one day at a time as well? Guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys then. Bye.